Let's keep pushing, let's keep pushing. In this video, I want to talk about the number one skill you need to develop when you're starting and operating a business here in Africa. We're in 2025 now, and the game has changed globally. It used to be, back in the day, if you were the hardest worker in a company and you put in all the hours, you're rewarded. You got the rewards, the sweet, sweet rewards of your hard work. I am not saying that you should not continue to work hard. In fact, you should continue to work hard. But what's more important than ever in this new economy, this new global economy, is working smart as well. If you can combine working smart and working hard together, you will win over the people that are more intelligent than you, that are more quote unquote educated than you. You will surpass them in no time. Completely. You can completely dominate and change the game by working smarter and using technology. Let me give you a perfect example. I met this guy, this businessman, one time, maybe 3 years ago, here in Tanzania, in the new capital of Dodoma. And he was building a bunch of clinics. So I asked him, "Hey, you must be a doctor." The guy looked at me and laughed. And he was driving a BMW, by the way. So this guy, he was making some money. So he laughed at me. He's like, "No, I'm not a doctor." Oh, he said, "Why are you building all these private clinics and all this stuff?" He's like, "Well, I saw a need and I saw a gap in the market where there are a bunch of really well-educated doctors, but they didn't have the know-how to start a business, or they didn't think of an idea to come up with smaller clinics and branch out of their hospitals that they're working at to make more money." Because when you only rely on working for the government in any country, it doesn't matter if it's the UK, US, if you're relying on the federal government, the government, to pay you, you're going to struggle. You're more likely going to make more money when you go in the private market with your skills and offer your skills to the private market. So that's essentially what he's trying to do. I guess it had to do with how the healthcare system here is, and it's pretty good. The healthcare system here in Tanzania is actually quite good. If you go to an average hospital, it's not going to cost too much. Yes, there are wait times and everything, but for the most part, people have access to healthcare here, even the people that don't have a lot of money. Which means that being a doctor, if you're doing that kind of profession, or a surgeon or whatever it is, in order for you to make more money, you need to go private, because if you're dealing with just the general hospitals that are government run, you will make all right money. You're not going to make as much money as you really want to make. So he was appealing to that small group of doctors and physicians, medical experts, to help them launch their own private practices. So I was like, this is somebody who's on paper less educated than a lot of these doctors. Because in order for you to become a doctor in this country and in any country, you got to put in the work. You got to put in so many hours, and you got to put in dedication. It's so much. That's all you can do. That's your entire lane. And this guy that was building the private practices, his entire lane was running businesses and building brand new businesses. So he saw a need in the market and he just made it work. He worked smart. A doctor could have thought about that, I think. I think a doctor could have thought about that, because I have relatives that are doctors that have been in the private practice game, and they're wealthy. So I know there are doctors that could do this, but for the most part, most doctors, they're only trained to do medicine, and it takes a while for a doctor to be able to learn the business side of things and bring the private, the medical experience and the business side. It takes a long time. It's a different skill set. Building a business is a completely different skill set, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, this guy, I know for sure he's probably making more money now than all these doctors that put in so many years in getting their license to operate in this country. I know for sure, because at the time he was building 3 private clinics, but I'm sure right now he's probably got more. He knew exactly what areas to open up the private practices at in Dodoma, the city, and then he just did his research to figure out, okay, what does the population look like? What are the people that can afford private practice medicine? Where do they live? What areas? If I develop this thing, I can expect maybe 100 or 200 professionals, maybe in the government, to support this business, to support the private practice. And you don't need very much, especially if you're charging a good amount of money for your private practice. You just need like 50 loyal customers that are regulars, 50, or even 100. Let's say you got 100, it might not seem like a lot, but if they're regulars, that's a lot of money. There are people here that are making a crazy amount of money here in Africa off of working smart. Because there's a gap in almost every market that you can exploit if you think smart enough. With technology, especially with ChatGPT now, with the ability to go to platforms like YouTube and acquire all this game, all this wisdom, all this knowledge, you can come up with concepts, smarter ways of doing business here in Africa, in niches that are already profitable. I did a video about the poultry business, where I've noticed when somebody starts a particular business here in Africa, and that business starts becoming successful. Let's say somebody starts a poultry business and they're raising chickens. Then everybody wants to copy it. Everybody also, even the neighbor, wants to do raise chickens. It's like the Airbnb business over there in Nairobi. It started with a few people that were doing the Airbnb, that were making all the money, and then everybody trying to copy. The real OGs couldn't make money. The originals, the people that came in first, couldn't make any money. They had to slash their prices. It's crazy. But there are ways that you can come in and set up a very creative angle. So instead of you in the poultry business only raising chickens, sell equipment to make, chicken farming better, raising chickens better. Right? Go watch that video I did. It was a reaction video, and it's really, really good. Not only do you have to think smart, you have to focus on your soft skills as well. And the number one soft skill you need to develop when you're here is sales, sales, sales. When you can learn how to sell a product or service to a customer, you'll never go hungry or broke, ever. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be in Alaska. You can sell those people like ice in Alaska, if your sales skills are that good. You need to learn sales. And this is the biggest problem that I've seen with a lot of people here in Africa, is that they have the skills to do the job, to do the task. Hey, let's go back to the doctors. But they don't develop enough soft skills that they end up getting stuck at the same level. So that person, if you look at them on a 10-year span, they're still the same as they were 10 years ago. The same way they were doing business, the same way they were operating in 2015, they're still operating the same way in 2025. The game has changed, guys. It's not the same game. We got artificial intelligence out here, AI. And there's so much you can leverage. I already mentioned YouTube acquiring information. Now you can collaborate with other people, professionals that are in different countries, not just in your country. All thanks to social media. I'm so grateful now for the internet, platforms like Facebook, because Facebook has a lot of groups. And most Africans, I've noticed, they love to be on Facebook. They love Instagram. But I think Facebook is completely underutilized by business owners in Africa. If you join Facebook groups in different regions, different countries that have to do with whatever niche that you're in, you can learn a lot. One of the things that I advise people to do when I talk to them, when I give them my consultations is, if you want to investigate and do your research on a particular niche here in Africa, not only should you watch content about it on YouTube, but also join these Facebook groups. And that's where you're going to see like-minded people. They're going to be talking about things that are concerning that particular industry in that particular country or region that you're trying to operate in. For example, I love using this chicken farming, poultry business. That's a perfect example. Look for any Facebook groups that are talking about the poultry business in Uganda, in Kenya, in Tanzania, in Zimbabwe, Botswana. Join those groups. And the point of joining those groups is not to sell. No. Because a lot of those Facebook groups, they end up getting flooded by people trying to sell stuff. Oh, so-and-so's trying to sell, a bunch of chickens. So it becomes very spammy. You don't want to do that. You don't want to spam something that's already being spammed. Because after a while, people are not going to pay attention to it. There's something about people, it's like people want to buy, but nobody ever wants to get sold to. It's very strange. But it's true. Just think about it. Do you like it when somebody comes to you and says, oh, check out this thing, or you go to a market or whatever, check out this thing, whatever, you should buy it. Do you like that? No, you don't. Most people don't like that. If anything, people want to take their sweet time, figure out exactly what they want, then they buy. They make a decision on their own to reach out. So when you learn this one skill, which is sales, you get into a position where you are attracting money versus chasing money. This is one of the biggest challenges in business, is how to close that deal. It's very difficult. A lot of people don't know how to ask for the money, and they don't know how to sell. So you might discover somebody has had a business for 5-10 years, but they suck at sales. All it takes is that one new guy, that one fresh lady, to come into the game and be able to sell and dominate. I've seen it. I've seen a bunch of ladies that have these boutiques, okay? And then they come in, they have these boutiques for a long time, let's say for 10 years, okay? And then a new, young, fresh face comes in, and they're already up on the social media game. They know how to do the TikTok thing, they know how to do the Facebook thing, and they know how to get in front of the camera, lights on, and sell on a Facebook Live, sell on the TikTok Live, all their clothes and stuff, showcasing all their clothes. And they blow up. Within a year, they're making more money than that OG that's been in the block for 10 years. Because they know how to sell. They know how the sales game goes. The game has changed, guys. I think I'm going to do a separate video on how to sell online the right way. If you have, let's say, a boutique, a store, a shop, I'm going to do a separate video on how to really leverage the power of social media the right way. And if you need coaching as well, I got you. When you learn how to sell, you start to attract opportunity, you start to attract that money. You need to set yourself up in such a way that you stand out from the crowd. When you know how to sell, you can stand out from the crowd. So that when people come to you, you can close that deal. Because you already know what they want, you know what they need. Then you give them exactly what they need. When you're in these Facebook groups, you're not spamming. Okay? Don't do that. Instead, just observe the conversations that are happening. What is the most common problem in that group that people are discussing? Is it the pricing of things? Is it an issue with getting something, a specific type of equipment? Is it a problem with education? Is it a problem with transparency? What is the key problem? What is the main problem that people are complaining about? Maybe pick 3. What are the top 3 problems that people are complaining about? Then you, as a business owner who's trying to get into that niche, you look for solutions to those 3 problems. The best solutions. Let us say there was an issue with transparency on, what's a good one? Land issues. This is always such a big one. There are a lot of realtors, they call them they call them estate agents. That's it. I wanted to say Easter. Okay. There are a lot of estate agents. These are realtors in America. They call them realtors. Agents that can help you find land, that can help you find, properties that are for sale. But let's talk about land specifically. There's a problem, I know for sure. When I was looking for land here in Africa, there was a problem. I had a problem. I didn't know who to trust because I was scared that somebody was going to sell me land that already belongs to somebody else. There are a lot of those kinds of scams that happen here in Africa. So if you want to get into real estate business, those are some of the problems that the potential customers will experience. And they'll probably talk about those problems in a Facebook group that you are joining. They'll talk about those things. Oh, I'm scared of getting scammed. I heard this, and that. I heard if I buy this land that is outside of the city, it's going to be owned by, different people, and they might come over there and, chase me away from that land. I don't know. People are scared of getting scammed, especially here in Africa. So you as the business owner, if you're getting into this game, figure out a way to solve that problem. Are you putting out content on Instagram talking about how to avoid these scams? What is it? Are you putting out content on YouTube about how to avoid getting scammed? What is it that you're going to do? Because when you put out content that helps me out as a potential customer to not get scammed when I'm buying land over there in Harare. Harare is in Zimbabwe, by the way. If you're putting out content like that, I'm going to watch it. Other people are going to watch it that are interested in buying land in Zimbabwe. Then they're going to be like, okay. This guy, this lady, I think she's onto something here. Okay, I think I'm going to give him a call. Then they'll give you a call, and then you put them on some game. You make your money. You close the deal. You've attracted the customer by knowing how to sell through social media. That's the new game. That's what we call working smarter. There are people that have been in the real estate game here in Africa for many years, but they don't know that this is the new game. So they end up working harder and harder and harder for nothing. Hustling backwards. I call it hustling backwards. There are too many people here on the continent that are hustling backwards still. They don't know the game has changed out here. It's a cold game. The game is so cold that you find like a D student, man, making more money than an A student. And that, because that D student in school, he's probably a D student, but when it comes to hustling, he's an A student. That's the other misconception with Africans, is like they think that just because they got a degree or they got all A's in high school, they could do very well in business. No, in fact, it's far from it. The people that are making the most amount of money here in Africa are not PhD holders. They are not these hyper educated people. No, they're smart, brilliant salespeople that work smart. They've developed their sales skills, their soft skills. The soft skills are the ones that are going to get you from doing okay to surviving to thriving. Those soft skills, because those are the skills that everybody else who's surviving neglects. They neglect all that stuff, because they're saying to themselves, "Oh, I already got my PhD. What do I need to learn new skills for?" People got a big ego. A lot of people that got a big ego in their big age. They got a PhD with nothing in their pocket. The cold game. If you're ready to work with the best, this means that you're ready to start your business here in Africa. You don't know how to really navigate. You don't even know what niche you want to get into. You have some ideas, and you need to work with the best to coach you. To coach you to get to the next level where you're thriving, not surviving. Because that survival game it's not it. It's not it. If you're ready to work with the best, I put a link in the description of this video. Schedule time. This will be a paid consultation. There's nothing for free. This game is too cold. Bless up.